Heaven Secret Requiem Season 3 Episode 10, y'all. This is the final showdown. I'm 1000% sure, considering the fact that we got Heaven Secret 3 with our main character from Heaven Secret Requiem, that we are gonna get her as the third main lead. So I chose to put Heaven Secret 3 on pause, as it's gonna be like split in 3 parts for every single main character. And my man Malbonte apparently won't show up for other 2 episodes. So I said I'm gonna finish this one so that I'm gonna have it closed with Heaven Secret 3. Okay, let's see. The gates will open like the maw of hell. Alright. Episode 10, the real end, the choice we made. What the I'm sorry, what? And we remember that CAIN's brother is like still there. Still very much oh no. Oh no. What is even happening? The bridge of infected and spawn stretched far ahead, dissolving into the haze. Slick, deadened skin shifted beneath my feet. The creatures followed me with wild feral eyes. If they attack, there's no way to defend myself here. This could be a trap. Maybe I missed something or translated it wrong? Lost in thought, I didn't realize I'd started speaking aloud, as if holding a conversation with myself. No, I translated everything about the messages and the gates. The rest was about inventory, tools, herbs, star alignments, and celestial artifacts we've never even heard of. I took out the book and flipped to the second to last passage. The second message was about where the gates are. The third, how to pass through them. The gate is located where it all began. The spear will help the chosen one get inside. Suddenly the bridge shook and my backpack slipped off my shoulder. The spear rolled over the hands of the spawn and tethered over the abyss. No! What's happening? Another tremor hit and the spear slid forward again. Its weight made it tip over and then it fell into the void. Beautiful. What do I do? The bridge could fall apart any second. The terrifying crash echoed. Something was happening back at the base we came from, as if whole floors had collapsed. Were those explosions? I don't care what it was. We lost the fucking spear. The haze stirred as powerful gusts knocked me off my feet. The bridge trembled. The infected dropped into the abyss one by one. Spread your arms out. I needed to stay upright. I stretched my arms out, trying to steady myself. I only staggered once sharply to the side. Voices rang out behind us. I turned toward the haze, straining to see. Another blast, another wave. The fog parted and I saw a group running toward us. They found us. Out of breath from eyes, the bridge slowly. What is happening? Can you know that? Black blood started to drip from above. Looking up, I saw clusters of wounded and limb spawns smashed together from the blast. Vicious liquid oozed from the broken limbs. The black mist spattered across my skin, getting stuck in my hands, stinging in my eyes. I did not have to get that visual. Ew! Don't let it into my bloodstream. Don't let it consume me. Don't let... What's wrong? Did you see what's wrong? Hannah grabbed my shoulder. When I didn't respond, she backed off wide-eyed and looked at the others. Her eyes, taking glasses. Fear gradually enveloped me. Well, kid, so a little bit of that blood and we immediately under the haste control. Fuck this shit, I'm out. The noise of the shallows blended with the squad's voices. I can't. Half of the devil's whisper. What is even happening right now? I clutched my throbbing head, but the pain didn't stop. My vision blurred, and then pain gave way to excitement. I chose the wrong fucking goal, yo. I thought it was gonna be dramatic considering the fact we were surrounded by these bitches.
and it would be something good if we knew how like to use all this darkness to our advantage. But I feel like I kind of forgot the world we're living in, that if we carry too much resentment, too much negativity, too much darkness inside us, we let it to continue. So that was my bad. Sorry. I'll make a father's laugh against you and a devilish whisper breathed right into my ear, and this thing gets the best of him, enticing. And truth be told, even if this is the worst we can go, I felt, considering the fact that both our characters seem to struggle a lot with this darkness. CAIN did too, and since I did choose CAIN as my lover, I thought that it wouldn't really match, as in their personalities wouldn't match that well if I would go with like a higher power. Besides, I feel like my character, if more, was leaning more towards the Devil's Whisper, but if we consider some things that she did in season two, like actually shredding a person that was like, I did say everything I was to say, like I was shook. The hairs around me tightened as if pulling me into an embrace. Attention stirred low in my abdomen, an ache of anticipation of something unknown and immense drawing near. Through the haze I thought I could hear the squawk voices. What do they want? I can't hear them. Then the fox took my hand and led me towards the bridge, stretching into nothingness. A sweet, spellbinding voice whispered just beside my ear, scorching it with hot breath, sending shivers across my skin. This way. Really? I don't like it. And where's her man again? I snapped the book shut and stepped onto the outstretched hand of the remaining fawns. Shouts echoed behind me, trying to stop me. My foot slipped along the slick hard skin. One more step and I might have fallen. Another explosion rang out much closer this time. The bridge began to tilt slowly. We won't make it in time. Vigorously sitting. I catch up with this time. And then everything suddenly plunged downward. The spawn, the infected, the squad, we all plunged into the haze together. Smoke burst from the fox, followed by a wave of fire. It expanded, swallowing us whole. I watched as the flames reached the others. Shocked, I reached toward them. No, don't die, please. No, I still need to squat. No, at this point, don't die, please. Like, do not. We were supposed to make it. All of us. That took me. They're burning. They're literally burning up. They're all dying! The fire consumed them in seconds, scattering the black ash of their bodies into the haze. Okay, that is dark on so many levels. I did not want that to happen at all. Like, especially my baby Greg. Oh, hell no! Why is it always the good ones that die? Like Greg and my other bitch. I forgot his name, the one that said that he was gonna catch them if he spawns. And I did also make my peace with Dimitri. No. Y'all, we lost all four of them in a and this is not even the finale. Like, what is even gonna happen in the finale? Are we gonna start a war? Everything went dark. The explosion faded, but I kept falling. The whistling in my ears grew louder. The wind tore at my hair, and I could barely breathe. Okay, how is it possible that we all fell together, yet they somehow were consumed by flames, and we're still falling? Behind me, I heard the snap of wings. One final thought flashed through my mind. I don't want to die. Suddenly, the harsh whistling stopped. The wind stilled, and I was left quivering, weightless. Then, one by one, walls formed around me. Excuse me? Someone is dropping me? Where am I? The words slipped and I landed on the floor. The dull thud of the impact struck a chord deep in my memory. Something that had once mattered but had long since faded. Yeah, the dream about my past. I heard the same sound when I was playing with the toys. Children, a plastic dollhouse, a strange doll, a click. the missing pieces fit together. I remembered why the other girls used to look at me with disdain. Huh? I lifted my hands. A bundle of dolls tied together rose into the air like a garland of people. Then I let go of the string. The toys dropped to the floor with a loud clatter. The whole kindergarten room was carpeted, except the corner where I always sat. So when something fell from my hands this time, I said loudly, drawing frightened stares. The other children didn't hate me. They were afraid of the strangeness they couldn't understand. A teacher approached. She knelt beside me, forcing a smile. Yeah, also she thought we're demented just because we were playing alone with dolls. What are you doing here again? I was to try to answer. I looked down at the floor. I shut down. But then, gathering courage, I finally spoke. They ascended. The woman went still, her face distant, a crease forming between her brows. She wasn't enjoying the conversation. So why did you start it, ma'am? Her thoughts, why can't the child behave like the others? Because I'm special. I don't want to be like everyone else. That is she always makes people uneasy. Were written all over her face. Listen to girl always about that kind of stuff. Was it even that bad? Was it from one of the parents sick? No, the small people are turned to the sky to heal their souls. What does it mean? That's why I was tying it out together. The way I help all the toys hunt themselves, not just one. Okay, I guess why they thought we're weird. Cleansing. We actually thought that the dolls were real people? Mama, did your parents teach you that? Are they the ones saying these things to you? No, mom and dad are really busy, so I always play by myself. What attention. I know I do it, but I don't know what it means. I shot a puck over her face. She clearly didn't want to be talking. You know, when your mother comes to get you, I'll need to speak with her. She can explain that to you. Okay. She nodded and stepped away, but before leaving, she glanced back at me with a cold, pitiless stare, the same one the girls always had. Bitch, blame the parents, not the child. Frozen in place, they eyed me nervously. For some reason I felt sad. I gathered the dolls into a pile and hid them behind my back as if trying to cover up the evidence of my crime. Tears welled up in my eyes. What did I do wrong? They didn't want to play with me. Bowing my head to hide my face, I wiped my tears with my tiny fist. No, no, my heart.
The memory shattered under a stranger's persistent touch. Someone was inspecting my face and tugging my arm gently. Remembering I had been falling into the unknown, I opened my eyes in alarm. Huh? Shadows gathered around me. I didn't notice them at first. They stood in the corners. My mother, General Lloyd, my father. I can't see their faces, but they're definitely watching me. Silent condemnation lurked in the corridor. The longer I stared into his silhouette's darkness, the more anxious I felt. What do you want? Stop staring at me! I want to run from their eyes, to hide. Why was the past haunting me? What did I want? I covered my face with my hands and crouched down, curling in on myself. Several minutes passed before I found the strength to raise my head. Only my other self remained in the corridor. Do you want to remember? I'll remember everything. Smiling, they ran ahead, looking back playfully. I had no choice but to follow. Wait, tell me everything! For some reason, no matter how fast I ran, I couldn't catch up. The corridor had only a few doors, but it stretched on endlessly. Does this whole way ever end? A frightened door marked with a skull creaked open wider, and the shadows darted inside into pitch black darkness. Just a few more leaps, and I'd reach them. 1, 2. Just then, music began to play. It echoed down the corridor behind me. Will it be like a chain reaction? I stopped, realizing how close I was to the door. The shadows beaconed me into the dark. Their faces faded into the black space, becoming almost indistinguishable. They lured me with the past I had lost, with the answers to my deepest question. The music grew louder and more forceful. If I go through that door, will the corridor disappear? It doesn't have a sign on it that symbolizes a memory. That means this passage is different. Maybe it's the final one. Too soon. It's too soon. I might not come back. But there's one last door. The one that might still open. The shadows beacon again as if saying, come catch us. Something's wrong. They're too persistent. What even are they? I took a few steps back. Seeing their smiles contort into something hostile, I knew I made the right choice. When something is too persistent, you have to bitch slap them. My mother's shadow twisted into a terrifying grimace of disapproval, then vanished like smoke from a snuffed-out candle the others followed, literally like or bitch-ass father in Estrella's broken heart. One more step back, tentative. I didn't want to rush or turn my back on the door where darkness lurked. Retreating slowly, I didn't even notice when I finally allowed myself to turn and run. The darkness chasing me receded farther and farther and farther. The music echoed down the corridor, amplified by the walls. The longer I ran, the louder it became. Just a little more. I heard the splash of water underfoot, and in the next instant the red swallows stretched out before me. An expressive melody drifted from somewhere in the mist. Following the sound, I came to a piano standing in the middle of the water. At the key sat CAIN, playing wildly. The instrument groaned, howled, cried, and sang under his fingers. The mad music reflected his nearly possessed expression. Snow-white hair clung to his sweaty forehead. His tense hands flew across the black and white keys, forcing out every last sound they had. Sensing me, CAIN went still. The melody stopped. He turned to me. I thought you might not show up. So, you were following the music again? What can I say? I always know how to find you. And were you looking for me again? CAIN chuckled quietly, but I didn't miss the flash of nervousness. Something was eating at him. Trying to catch my breath after all the running, I leaned on the piano and looked at him. Did you write that? Yes. I had plenty of time to think about a song for the end of the world. Does it have a name? No. So it's just a Requiem? It looks like it. Why? Why can't you stay with us? Why are you just sitting here? No, why can't you stay with us? If Bao senses that I'm protecting you too much, he'll use it against us. But so I have to give up on the man I love? Are we shitting? And if that happens, he'll try to get rid of both of us before we can reach him. But won't this conversation bother him then? No, I'm your guide, and I must show you the way if you get lost. He doesn't know the details like the content of our talk, and can't find out. I'm sorry, but we fucked. We had sex multiple times. We had intimate conversations, and we did make out a lot. Can't Ball sense that? Or am I just dumb? Am I not really recalling things well? I stepped closer. My heart was still pounding from running. I couldn't catch my breath. CAIN noticed and stood up. He pressed his cold palm to my cheek, and I instantly felt better. See? That's deep connection. I stood in front of him, dirty, tired, and worn out. CAIN looked as if he had just descended from heaven, because he always is. At that moment, the contrast between us felt deeper than ever. A tired sigh skipped my chest. What? How did I get here? Why were you looking for me? What does all this mean? All this playing with you is pushing you, tempting you to slip, to act rashly, to let your guard down. I hope you didn't manage to do any of that. No, but I almost walked right to him myself. If I hadn't come to my senses, I would have lost an important memory forever. CAIN's brow furrowed slightly. Good thing I made it in time. Otherwise, neither of us would get what we want. And what is that what we want? Freedom, and to be who we are, isn't that right? Well, my freedom and happiness also means being with you. You just being my guide, it's not gonna cut it. CAIN's vague answers didn't satisfy me. But what is this corridor? There are doors that lead to my past. I've been sensing it since I came out of the rift. Did you say the tree of pain? Yes. The corridor is a creation of the tree. But if anyone who becomes part of it is connected, why don't my memories merge with the others? Also, I'm not infected, only they end up in the tree. Oh, he's gone. A tiny drop of the Phantogen is enough to see the haze. That other me kept trying to lure me straight to the last door, as if she didn't want me to remember something. But why would anyone care about one of my memories? More importantly, what secret could it possibly hold? The moment CAIN mentioned my scar, my head started pounding. Visions of the squad consumed by fire filled my eyes. A shiver ran through me. What can I even trust? What can I even trust right now? Where did CAIN come from? What if he's not even real? I backed away from him. CAIN looked at me in surprise, but when he saw my guarded expression, he smirked coldly. Simona? Are you really you? I was doubting everything, even myself. Was I really me? Which is so painful because due to that Phantogen that we have in our wrist, it could turn us into an infected, but somehow, if we don't actually do anything to make that thing break, aka explode, it should be fine. And that's the fucking problem. Since we do have infected blood in us, just not in our bloodstream, it's still affecting us. So it's kind of like we are a mirage of who we used to be. We kind of have like two split personalities. The one that is doubting everything right now, is the real us. And then there is this other version of us that is kind of like Ball's underling and is willing to do whatever it takes in order to please Ball. Literally walking straight to him. So now that we realize that this man actually has that kind of power over us, and due to that, let's call it venom from the infected is inside of us, he still has that power over us. So we are questioning right now everything. For some reason, CAIN's face suddenly showed concern and sorrow. Placing a hand on my forehead, he closed my eyes and whispered, "Wake up." What? What the hell? I came to my senses at some strange gates. The base had merged with the hell and Ball's deranged dungeon. Darkness loomed above me inside with the bridge had collapsed, and just beyond the gates, enormous cracks split the ground like the ones leading to the rift. My forehead hurts. I think I got cut. I looked around for my backpack, then stopped dead. Just beside where I'd fallen, the spear was stuck in the ground. Pulling it out took some effort. The strap tied to it was torn and dangling limply. I'll just carry it. It's safer that way. I opened the Book of the Apocalypse and flipped through it again, searching for anything that resembled the bizarre scene in front of me. Nothing. How am I supposed to figure out what this place is? There was no signs of the squad or CAIN. No. So literally, CAIN is our guiding light. It wasn't really CAIN. We were imagining it to be CAIN. Because right now we feel lost, and he's like the only thing that resembles, or more like inspires, hope in us. As I turned another page, I left a crimson smear on the paper. I'm all scrapped up. I need to clean myself off. Inside my backpack, I had some items from the base's lockers. I took off my torn sweater and changed quickly. Because we actually have times for that. Hades is hilarious. No. We're going with this. Fine by me. It never hurts to check. Circling the area near where I'd fallen, I found only a small pile of junk. There were broken lanterns, binoculars, and uniforms. As I stepped a little closer to the strange gates, I saw the squad lying unconscious. They were covered in blood and bruises. They don't look too badly hurt. Then why did I see them engulfed in flames? Weird. Are we in a fantasy or in reality right now? I have the feeling that this was Ball, like actually showing us that vivid hallucination, thinking that we had lost everything because CAIN was also nowhere near inside. So we thought that we had lost everything we held dear, and that would automatically make us mentally that vulnerable that we would willingly go up there and do what Ball wants from us, as in go into that door. A ringing sound started growing. Clutching my ears, I looked at the gates, which were vibrating. Thousands of spawn fluttered their wings, cheering like cicadas. The buzzing was maddening. It's like a call, or they're pointing the way. That means the father of lies is close. My gaze fell on the squad. None of them were moving or showing signs of waking. Yet the gates looked damaged too. Most likely the blast had hit them as well. No way the haze would have accounted for that, which means what's happening now has to be real. In places where the spawn-formed gates had been breached, I saw black blood seeping through. The spawns killed by the blast couldn't break free from the living mesh and were bleeding right there. Dark pools were slowly creeping toward the squad. The Fentogen. Seriously? Just what I need. Is reality really shifting again now there's a good amount of black blood around? Like it did back on the subway train. If there is too much of it nearby, even a tiny scratch is enough to make someone lose their mind. The closer I got to Ball, the more rage stirred inside me. I had no strength left to fight it. It was easier to embrace it than to lose myself trying to resist. It was easier to survive that way. I looked at the squad's helpless bodies and crouched down beside them. Then I looked at the gates again. Just one step left. And here you are, sprawled out like it's nothing, It'd be a shame to step into the unknown without saying a proper goodbye, right? I still haven't forgiven you for poking around in my head. I've waited so long for this. Taking the spear, I smiled and stood over the squad. Come on, wake up. I don't hit people when they're down. Let's keep it fair. I don't have Emital, but your head still took a hit anyhow. Placing my foot on each of their bodies, I shook them, forcing them to open their eyes. You're not so weak as to die from a single fall. Jan looked worse than the others and was lying further off. His bandages had come loose and hung from his clothes. Right next to him lay a torn-off spawn wing. It looks like he tried to ride one and saved the others. That's probably why they're still alive. Alright, no point wasting time. I approached the gates with the spear. Dipping its tip into the black blood, I began carving a long trench, dragging the Fentogen straight toward the squad. When the dark rivulets reached them, I whipped the blade clean. Then raising it again, I stabbed it into the palms of everyone I wanted to punish. What the fuck? No, that's too much. That's too much. The squad members flinched from the sudden pain. They tried to crawl away, but the Fentogen began to slowly seeping into their wounds, driving them mad. The black blood mixed with their own. I gave each of them another shove, eager to bring them around. I didn't care about their weak moaning. Things were only going to get worse. I'll be merciful. Hope you appreciate it. What the fuck? The squad writhed in pain, tethering at the edge, halfway into the haze. What a beautiful sight, so moving and memorable. Y'all, I'm about to throw myself through the window. Experiencing an unusual moment of inner harmony, I smiled and licked the blood from the blade. Ew. With that crimson taste, fragments of all my friends had merged. The texture was oily, unexpectedly thick and disgusting, but I licked my lips anyway, wanting to absorb it and savor every last drop. I am about to die. Vile. Wiping my mouth, I knelt in front of the squad, watching as the mesmerizing black tendrils of the Fentogen crawled up their arms. Since you all dug into my head, I'll give each of you a personal hell and tear your minds apart. Someone from the squad cawed hoarsely. Finally, you're starting to wake up. Oh my god. Who's there? Sitting on his battered body, I crossed one leg over the other and grabbed the general by his hair, forcing him to look at me. His bloodshot eyes glazed over as the haze was handling the torture better than I ever could. Dimitri's got so many issues. Which one to poke? I need something new. I think I know what'll work. Chuckling, I deliberately spoke with malice. I'm Kira. Kira? Oh, hell no! The general stared through me with an empty look. His mind had succumbed to the haze. He wasn't seeing me. The voice wasn't mine. I'm sorry. For what? I couldn't protect you. You're supposed to love me. You knew I had feelings for you. What the fuck? I could feel how much it hurt him. Stop, Akira. You knew I hung on your every word. I did everything you asked. You don't deserve to live. Die. Come to me. Oh, hell to the na. Hell to the na. What is even this? We actually have time for something like this. With every new word, I felt the grip on the general tighten. Kira's resentment multiplied. My harsh words turned into raging images of her that crashed down on Dimitri. Oh, hell no! You're just like my father. You both molded me into something useful and then used me. I'm not your little pet, and I don't want to be the one who died while you get to keep living without any guilt. The general tried to cover his ears, but I yanked his hair harder. Baring their teeth multiple, Kira swarmed Dimitri, choking him and taking bites out of his body. More cries, more curses. Oh, hell no! What is this? The Kiras tore chunks from Dimitri. Even if they were just hallucinations, the pain was real. The Kiras were devouring him. But it's not really hurt, just as guilt. Letting go of Dimitri's hair, I pulled his hand out of the path of the Phantogen and walked over to the next. Gray lay quieter than the rest, or so I thought, until I heard the grinding of his teeth, unpleasant and painful. What's tormenting you so much? I need to grab hold of it. Sitting beside him, I turned Greg's face toward me and grabbed his cheeks. His eyes looked right through me. Nick? So that's who the haze made you see. You blame yourself for his death? He was a bitch, Greg. He was a bitch. He literally was planning to kill us, and he's the reason that Kira is dead. Greg, you're such a ray of sunshine. Too bad your warmth doesn't soothe, it burns. That smile of yours is empty. If you were really so good, you would have saved me. Oh, hell nah! This is something I cannot stand behind. Like, karma is big and it's coming, but I'm not the type of person that would want to actually give someone karma. Like, life would be karma enough for them. Sometimes the biggest karma you can give to someone is allowing them to live and see what their actions led to. Greg clenched his jaw until it cracked. His breathing grew heavy and he whispered, No. The words hit him like needles. In the haze, Greg felt Nick creeping closer. The hands of his former friend wrapped around his throat. Then came a new accusation, and another image emerged, getting under Greg's skin, tearing him apart from the inside. You're just a memory. You weren't there when I needed you most. You're like a brother to me. And where is your brother now? Stop, I don't want to remember you like this. Do you even remember me at all? You're alive, but you were supposed to die with me. How big was your smile while I sat in the basement watching worms feast on a fellow prisoner? Breathing in that stench, picturing myself in this place. I searched for you. I searched. Greg coughed as if something caught in his throat. It looks like the haze sent Nick's visions to devour him. He's suffered enough. Releasing Greg's face, I used my boot to wipe away the thin trickle of Phantogen leading to his wound. The Phantogen accumulated beneath the squat, gathering in dark pools. Anna whimpered softly, rolling onto her back. Black veins peeked out from the wound left by the spear. Her eyes were half closed, like she was delirious. Leaning over her, I gently adjusted her glasses, then pinned her hand to the ground with my knee. The Phantogen began to seep in faster. The haze swallowed her, feeding her painful memories. She groaned, trying to shove me away. You always wanted to be a good girl, Daddy's favorite, Mommy's perfect little daughter. Let's dig around in your past too, shall we? And I groaned. Dad? What? She saw Lloyd in me. With sick pleasure, I watched her struggle and said loudly, "Oh, wow. You little brat, you killed your own mother. You nasty old bitch. Oh, hell." Yo, I do not enjoy this scene. I do not. Karma in its own accords. But this is her actually stooping down to their level. I didn't kill her. Always complaining, squealing like a pig. I hate your whining voice. You scream like you're the only one who's hurting. And I was surrounded by memories. They distorted as did her father's face. They multiplied and lashed under her like a death grip. Don't say that. She died because of you. I'll never forgive you. Did you think the others had forgotten? Just because you were a child, did you leave it all in the past? Daddy, please don't. If you wanted to die, you should have done it alone. Wow. Anna sobbed, her arm went limp, no longer trying to wish me away. She no longer responded, and there was no point in continuing. Her father was tearing her apart piece by piece. He was a plague on her soul, the very heart of her guilt. In the real world, we don't even need to haze to devour ourselves from the inside. It's called guilt, bitch. My revenge left scars not only on the squad's bodies, but on their souls. And it's the fucking fact that she seems to be proud of that. She actually seems to enjoy this. Watching their tormented expressions amused me, and that's what is actually worrying me, y'all. She seems to enjoy this. She enjoys the fact that she gets to be their executioner now. They clung to their pain, almost savoring it. I lay down among the writhing bodies and pulled them closer. Oh my god. It hurts. Does that sound familiar? He who loves last loves best. You took the revenge on the squad. What in the holy fuck? Absolute sadism, literally. The sound of my own voice made me burst out laughing. I cackled as I glanced over the suffering squad. They were still coming out of the haze, minds foggy. Alright, better shut up now. Getting to my feet, I brushed off my clothes. All coming to our senses, are we? Then figure out what to do on your own. I think you've got enough strength to stand. Under their bewildered gazes, I strode forward towards the gates. I love that she didn't touch Jan. I love she didn't touch Jan. She's like, oh, he did nothing compared to these bitches. The closer I got, the stronger the flow of blood became, pouring from the wall like tiny waterfalls. Chucks started breaking off the gate, spawn corpses falling by the dozen. The mesh couldn't hold so many dead bodies at once. Flowing past my boots, the Fantogan trickled behind me. I watched as the trail slithered closer to the cracks swallowed by the gloom. Those cracks have bothered me from the beginning. They look just like the one we nearly fell into on the way to Rutgov. And judging by what we overheard from one of Donovan's soldiers, similar ones were supposed to open all across the world. A wild thought struck me. It didn't fit within the bounds of logic, but considering what had happened in the rift, it could be true. Maybe these cracks lead to Earth. There are about 100 of them here, and they're arranging a kind of like the outline of a world map. But if that's true, the Fantogan is about to start seeping into every corner of the planet. If everyone becomes infected, the world will cease to exist. But I can't waste time. The goal is within reach. The gates are right in front of me. Hesitating, I looked from the cracks to the gates and back again. If I don't deal with the Fantogan now, everything that comes next might end up being meaningless. Suddenly the spawn started cheering again. The sound of their wings turned into a whisper. The voice stirred something deep inside me, something I didn't know was there. The Fantogan could be a weapon or a salvation. I stepped toward the cracks, but my body suddenly wouldn't respond. For a second, I felt two versions of myself at war. Mind and flesh were in conflict, pulling in opposite directions. Shaking off the thoughts, I did what I believed was right. Path of Devil's cruel whisper! So the world is about to end. And humans deserve it. They were given life and through their own weakness brought it to this end. The immortals just fed us. This world will always crush us, so I'll do everyone a favor. Let's just stop existing. In a fit of uncontrollable laughter, y'all, we are demented. We have grown insane. I approached the gates and began gripping Spawn from it, ordering them to fly into the cracks. Crawling free from mesh, the creatures crashed to the ground, breaking their wings, then soared up again under my command. Like a swarm of flies, they seeped into the cracks one by one. Wipe everything out. Let the whole world burn. Rip, crush, eat, trample, destroy everything in your path. Kill them all. Wow. I pictured swarms of monsters bursting from cracks across the globe, wounding people one after another, racing entire cities in pointless carnage. How long would it take until there was no one left alive but us? Ultra violence! You're up to your elbows in blood, you know no mercy. No mercy. Grinding hysterically at the freedom I'd won, I tilted my head back, watching the spawn fly and fly and fly. It's the final countdown. Literally, like there is nothing left. The second she is done with the world, there will be nothing left. Suddenly a hand landed on my shoulder, spinning me around and pining me roughly against the gates. My fucking man, he said, bitch, are you demented? He said, bitch, are you demented? I thought you were better than this, and actually I thought too, but hey, us completely losing our minds made CAIN finally pull his head out of his ass and finally show up in person. Simona, he's so mad. As he fucking should, because that's when you know that he truly loves us. Because I, as someone who is toxic, aka manipulative, I'm fine with you being your worst version. Because that means that we both are like on the same wavelength, and that means that we will always be together. You will never lose me, like you will never leave me. But a love like this, where we actually are similar to CAIN, and instead of CAIN actually being happy about this, because he doesn't like that about himself either, even though he now has grown accustomed to him being like the Stark, he wants better for us. He wants better for us, and seeing us lose ourselves in Baal's darkness like this is not amusing to him. He hates it. Dazed, I looked around. The rest of the squad still lay behind CAIN. He stared at me impassive. Don't try to stop me. I wasn't planning to. To prove it, he stepped away. A scream echoed from the crack. Black veins like those on the infected began spreading from the ground. Almost there. I just need to break free and finish this. Just a minute more. I reached for the tail of a spawn hanging from the gates and pulled. With a streak, it crashed to the ground, trashing wildly. Spreading its wings, it shot up and vanished into the fissure, joining the others. CAIN watched my attempts to destroy the world the way one watched someone pulling weeds, detached and bored. He didn't help, but he didn't try to stop me either. I'd like to know what triggered such a violent outburst. You've become crueler. That concerns me. Period, CAIN. Be my man. Then again, what else could I expect after so much torture? You can't come back from that. And yet he hates it. CAIN's words stunned me. Taking advantage of the pause, he stepped down and placed a hand on my cheek, stroking it gently. You're not yourself. That's unacceptable. I loved CAIN. In love with that bitch. Goddamn. Like, he's like, I do not blame you for losing yourself because, hey, I am not better. Look at my heritage. Look at my mother. Look at my brother. And look at Ball controlling my every movement. Yet I still do not like what is happening to you. Be better, bitch. Be better. I jerked away, but CAIN didn't let go. Yes, bitch! Claim your territory! Claim me! Goddamn. Grabbing my arm, he stopped me from continuing. You only bring up the past when it's convenient for you. But I don't care anymore about what was or what's to come. You've never lived in this world, so you don't get to decide what happens to it. The grin. CAIN suddenly pulled me into a tight embrace, catching me off guard. Then, without warning, he struck the back of my head hard enough to make my body go limp. He said, bitch, you thought. Think about the fact that I am still an immortal. Am I mad at him? Because I was mad as fuck at Dimitri for doing this in the first episode. No, I'm not. Because in the first episode, we could have just walked with him and he just smacked us at the back of the head in order to drag us somewhere. Here, he's protecting us from ourselves. Yes, CAIN. He laid me on the ground and stroked my arm. The ringing in my ears began to fade. Come to your senses, Simona. You have another role to play. He's so mad, y'all. He says if you can't do it yourself, I'm gonna knock your senses. Like, grabbing the spear, CAIN beat his wings, driving the spawn and streams of black blood further from us. I started coughing from the dust that arose into the air. We need to move through the gates. CAIN. Thanks for the help. You should have stayed out of it. You cut it too close. Nah, thanks for the help. I couldn't have handled this place's anomalies without you. Uh-huh. CAIN is just so fucking relatable, y'all. He's like, uh-huh. CAIN is glad you accepted his help. I do appreciate this. Like, we were done. We done for. CAIN handed me the spear, and all I could do was obediently take it. Before approaching the gates, I glanced around. The squad was still behind me. The streams of black blood still flowed, but more slowly, nearly drying up. Your book. He held out the volume, and only then did I realize my backpack was gone. It had been right next to me, and now it was missing. Hesitating, I looked around, searching for its pale fabric. I found it dangling high on the gates. Sorry, I was trying to find it. Oh well. One strap had caught on a spawn's sharp wing. It must have gotten tossed up there when CAIN beat his wings and stirred up the wind and dust. I'll try reaching it. Jumping up, I grabbed the hanging strap and pulled the backpack toward me. The spawn twitched its wings and the bag dropped straight into my hands. I checked the contents, then slung it over my shoulder. Perfect, everything's still here. You retrieve the backpack, this will have consequences later. Okay. CAIN raised a hand above the gates and paused. I saw his fingers tremble ever so slightly. What are you waiting for? I waited so long for this. He's been locked in this cage and protected by it at the same time. Only the chosen one, the one bearing the spear, can break it. I'll reach him soon and everything will be resolved. The moment CAIN touched the gates, an unseen force slammed him aside. The shockwave pined us to the gates, making it impossible to move. I coughed, spitting out ash stirred up by the blast. The spear was thrown farther away. As the raging gust subsided, two figures came into view. ABEL was pinning CAIN to the ground. ABEL? Where did you get the strength? You haven't seen true power yet. This is just the beginning. ABEL? ABEL raised his fist. White lightning sparked for a second before he struck his brother in the face. No, not my man! CAIN grabbed his hand and froze in confusion. Blood slowly dripped from his nose. You carry Ball's energy, the same as I do. Only then did I notice ABEL's wings no longer looked wrecked or weak. He had changed. He had become stronger. Never noticed? Idiot. Why? What the fuck is happening? He accepted to be Ball's bitch? Is that what we're getting? Usually calm and composed, Cain suddenly roared. The veins in his neck bulged. He completely lost control. He tried to break free, but Abel held him firmly. With a bored sigh, Abel wiped the saliva from Cain's cheek. Abel's bandages had come loose, revealing a demon's mark, the same one Cain bore. Abel didn't skimp on power. You know you couldn't be trusted. I need to get the spear, but Abel's presence is terrifying. What if he's here to kill all of us, not just to settle the score with his brother? I'll have to wait for the right moment. Cain's not weak. He'll hold on his own. Are we sure about that? I mean, I'm not doubting that Cain can hold his own. I'm doubting right now about Abel's length. Like, if he would actually be fine with killing him. Cain made a few more attempts to break free, but Abel didn't budge. Oh my god, are we seeing the electricity on their hands? I've come too far for freedom. You won't take it away from me. No one will. Ash began to lift around Cain as if the air itself grew charged. He's losing control. Just like you did, bitch. Can you do something now? Not bad. I thought fighting you would be boring. What else have you got? Among the floating ash, crimson sparks began to flash, connecting into a web. Okay, can we smack like both Cain and Abel? Bitches, if you're gonna do something, then do it somewhere else. Cain jolted and the net contracted, binding Abel. That brief hesitation was enough for Cain to break free. Whistling, Abel snapped his fingers, dispelling the charge. The ash fell, releasing him. At least you had the brains to come up with something new. Good. Abel lunged at his brother, not letting him rest. It was clear the battle didn't tire him, but Cain was already struggling to breathe. Now they're even closer to the spear. No chance to get it. Abel swung for Cain's side. Reading the move, Cain shielded himself with a wing, only for his brother to spin and kick him in the head. The trail of lightning flowed Abel's foot. That meant he could channel it from more than just his hands. And that was proof of grueling training, no doubt. Fed at full strength, I need to punish you, but beating a weakling is boring. You won't get what you want. We'll see. What does he want? Abel lunged again, hands glass, aiming for Cain's head. Cain braced for the blow, but didn't notice it was a feint. Abel's hands parted, and white lightning crackled between them, jumping wildly from palm to palm. Darting from Cain's head to his back, Abel slashed through his brother's wing as if it were paper. Y'all, I'm scared. I'm scared. What if he actually kills my baby Cain? Bastard. Does Cain even stand a chance? He doesn't look tense, so he knows he can fight back, but he's hesitating, stalling. If he unleashes all his power again like he did under the monastery in Rotkov, he might lose himself for good and become its prisoner. Cain roared, casting lightning around him. Dodging Abel leaped back. That's why he doesn't want to use all of his powers. I'm pretty sure he knows that he could actually beat him, but for that he would have to lose himself. And that for good this time. He won't be capable to go back from that. He has lost himself way too many times, and now the power that Baal has over him would be too strong for him to resist if he truly gives in to his darkest impulses. You know, you could just join Baal. This time one doesn't have to die for the other to live. His power is enough for both of us. Let's just follow his will. Help him break free and get everything we've ever wanted. Cain. I don't think he would agree, though. He has been fighting against that his entire life. His hatred runs too deep. Father of Lies never gives you what you truly want. Hades is always looking for a loophole, and in the end, desire turns into punishment. You only say that because your path to his freedom took too long. On the other hand, I'm just a step away. I've spent centuries by his side. You barely a day. A pact means nothing to Baal. Every word of his is a lie. Your breath did. Abel exhaled heavily, looking tiredly at his brother. He spread his arms. I either help him break free, or I serve to the very last drop of his blood. See, the conditions are easy to fulfill. The spear is right there. Come on, don't be such stubborn. No. Refusing again, just like when we were kids. Do not bring up the fucking past. Your pride never let you support my endeavors. You could never share glory, and even now you want to do everything on your own. Fine, I'm done with seeing your memories, your feelings. If you refuse to go peacefully, I'll just have to kill you. Fucking hell! Darting toward his brother, Abel sliced off another wing. CAIN grabbed him by the neck, discharged lightning into the back of his head, and kneed him into his chest. Abel lost his balance and began to fall. Reaching out, he blasted the ground, using the recoil to catch himself and land an unexpected strike on CAIN. They both looked serious. The real fight had begun. I don't want either of them to die. But if I could choose, CAIN, kill him! Kill him! I could barely follow their movements, but I couldn't take my eyes off the flashing sparks. The angel's sword fell and rose again. Blows echoed with thunderous roars. The shockwaves knocked me off my feet, slamming me against the gates. You don't deserve these wings. Says you! Says you! After you were fine in having him actually give you the last remaining bits of his energy. Abel gripped his brother's throat, tearing another wing off with a sickening crunch. CAIN clutched Abel's hand, trying to push it away, but only kicked helplessly. Abel's strength overwhelmed him. And these two, a pair of wings plumped downward. No! CAIN! My chest burned. Any second, the angel could be gone for good. Grief overtook me. I screamed again, voice breaking, but it was drowned out by the next grind of torn wings. Abel grabbed the last of the two remaining wings. Not even your own are truly yours. Nah, Abel, you fucking bitch. He killed him. My man! Tilting his head arrogantly, Abel slowly tore them both off. Snow-white feathers fell to the ground and were instantly staining crimson by the blood gushing from CAIN's back. I mean, normally angels can grow them back. Right? Or was it just for the unknown? Choking on pain from the fingers tightened on his throat, CAIN hissed. Let go. You've fallen so low and still you won't use Baal's power. Or mine. Or our mother's. Drop the fake pride. You spent years clinging to what was never yours. Fight back. Abel shouted, lightning dancing around him, striking the ground and shaking it. Spitting blood, CAIN suddenly laughed quietly. Hers is yours, and nothing that's mine. You're right, I've never had an ounce of true power. Behind him, black blood began to swirl. It no longer flowed into the cracks and instead was now crawling toward the angel. Merging with his flesh, it began to weave into terrifying wings. Everything around us was part of Baal's illusion, and thus part of his power. If nothing, it belongs to me. Oh my god. I'll make it all mine. Abel let go of his brother and recoiled in fear. Now you're gonna recoil in fear? No. Fuck him up, CAIN. Fuck him up! He thought because you weren't willing to use Baal's power because he's so big and mighty that you actually couldn't pull your head out of your ass. Now he actually said, I'm gonna make everything mine, and now you're cowering in fear? No. Make him fucking regret. Make him eat his words. CAIN's hands tore into his own skin, letting the blood bind to him deeper. If CAIN absorbed the haze, taking it into himself, he would become unimaginably powerful. He glanced at the spear and the black blood slithered toward it like a serpent, wrapping around it and lifting it toward its master. Go, do what you must. CAIN hurled the spear and it slammed into the wall right next to me, embedded halfway. Y'all, he literally is allowing darkness to completely consume him, and he still has us on his mind. Pulling it free wasn't so easy. What are you doing to yourself? I just shows that I'm better than you. Not listening to his brother, CAIN turned toward him, and Abel was instantly flung back into the gate, smashing into their very center. Only then did I realize that such a devastating strike came from just a flick of CAIN's finger. Period. Fuck him up. Fuck him up. Blood merged with his body, wrapping and distorting him. With every passing second, he looked less like himself. "You're a monster inside and out." Says you. Says you after you literally ripped off 4 wings. From the force of Abel's crush, I accidentally drove the spear even deeper into the wall. Damn it. Check on the others. The blast might have thrown them right into the cracks. I let go of the spear and turned. The squad was nowhere in sight as dust clouded everything. CAIN flew up to Abel and slammed him into the gates again and again and again until one side of his brother's faces was a mangled mess. Come on, some bitch. I should have known better. Sir, this is karma on its finest, and I'm so happy that I chose not to go any deeper into a relationship with Abel. Oh my god. Look at the wings he's creating for himself. Fucking hell. Just killing you won't be enough. I have something else in mind. CAIN spread his arms and leaned into the gates. Crimson growth began to sink into his wings, arms, and stomach. The gates shuddered, beginning to fall apart. CAIN was absorbing the power of Baal. The power Baal had sealed into them. The growth engulfed half of his body. Now every spawn near him obeyed his will. He can control that? He tore open the boils that covered his torso. Abel began to slowly sink into his abdomen, swallowed by the gates. Veins crawled beneath his skin, trying to merge with the immortal. If you become part of me, will your power still be yours? Enough, stop. You're tearing your own body apart. No one can endure this pain. You'll go insane and destroy everything. Are you sure about that? I think he's been through worse. I've spent my whole life enduring it. What's a little more pain now? I'll absorb you, then Baal next. He can actually absorb people. He's completely lost it, but he's still conscious for now. He actually absorbed him. He actually absorbed Abel. I actually thought we could have some beautiful moments. Some beautiful family reunion. Not this type of shit. I need to get the spear out immediately. The growth swelled, consuming more of Abel. Even straining with all his might, he couldn't move. Summoning the last of his energy to free his head from the gate's grip, Abel shouted. Oh, hell to the nah. Don't bring me into the middle of this. I fucked you up, sir. I fucked you up good. Sure like kissing me? Fucking hell no. I stopped abandoning the attempt to pull the spear. What did you say? I feel I have to replay season 3. Just because. Some things will never be yours no matter how strong you are. You trusted her, didn't you? Simona didn't resist at all. And I enjoyed her kiss. A spawn's tail coiled around my waist and yanked me upward, passing me to the next one. No, he'll kill me. I clutched the spear, trying to stay where it was stuck in the gates, but it broke free and came away in my grip. Oh, oh no. The creatures tossed me between them like a toy, racing me to the center of the gates closer to their master. CAIN, don't. The spawn passed me into CAIN's hands. He lifted me above the ground, holding me from under my arms. Oh no. You see, that's why Abel is a bitch. And that's why we're gonna get some karma. Like, just one kiss, y'all. Just one fucking kiss was enough for this scene to happen. The ground beneath my feet was no longer visible. We were so high up that everything was obscured by the haze. Look at me. Can I refuse? I looked up. Standing before me now was a monster wrapped in crimson growth. CAIN had lost all traces of humanity, turning himself into something unrecognizable. And yet he still lost himself. Like, he was fine with immediately absorbing literally everything. He continued absorbing more and more. And the second he said she enjoyed kissing me, he immediately came back to his senses and he remembered that we're here. He let out a barely audible laugh, strained and nervous. Pulling me closer, he suddenly kissed me. What is happening? His torn hands, veined with black tendrils, ruined my body as if trying to memorize it. His tongue pressed deeper as if he truly meant to devour me. Does he truly want to devour us? Like, literally. He wants to devour ABEL. Or was this just him saying I want to claim my territory? Like, yes, she is mine. Pulling away, he looked at me one last time, then hurled me to the spot where ABEL, now consumed by the gates, had vanished from. I told you, I won't let anyone else have you. Period! Let's go! Yes! He said, bitch, you thought she's mine. The growths and the spawn swarmed me like seething beehive. CAIN. Grabbing at wings and tails, I struggled to escape, but the darkness of the gates pulled me deeper. No, I don't want to just disappear. Swallowed whole, I found myself in an endless abyss of spawn, trashing amidst their limbs. I suddenly felt a faint breeze. Tracing where it came from, I clawed at a tiny gap with my fingers, shoving the creatures aside, trying to force my way through. Something cold struck my leg. The spear was nearby. A few of the spawn blocking my path collapsed. The gap widened on its own, and a powerful draft of air sucked me through. At the same time, final preparations were underway at the portal. Lately, they'd been managing to keep it open longer. The world is stable. Lowest functions levels we've ever recorded. Get ready. Did you take care of what I asked? Yes, the rift has collapsed. I doubt anyone survived. The professor averted her gaze, her jaw clenched, a spasm shooting to her temple. She shivered. Good. She pulled on her glove and adjusted her hair. Casting a cold look at the soldiers nearby, she commanded, We enter in 2 minutes intervals. You'll go first. The professor pointed at the exhausted doctor. Sonia and Van held him by the elbows. They shoved him toward the rift of space. He fell before the portal and scrambled to get up when a hand appeared from nowhere. It traced the edge of the portal, instantly widening it, and from the heavens descended an immortal. Torrendo! You're like worms crawling from a rotten apple. I can't believe you needed for any of this. Tall, stately, aristocratic, the immortal was the embodiment of eternity. Everyone except Donovan was stunned into quiet reverence by the calm power of radiating from the angel. He sniffed the air like a king approaching a foul-smelling swineherd and then said dryly, It was sent to meet you. Obey and don't make noise. Now follow me. And the immortal vanished into the portal? What the fuck? He said, Meet Sifa Malum. No, honestly, I lived. ABEL got the karma he deserved, and he said, even though you did get to kiss my ghost, you did not get to kiss my girl forever. Like, she's mine to keep. I'm not sharing her. I'm truly worried about CAIN right now, though. He has been consumed by the fact that he needed to get strength in order to actually win. In order, like, to make it out of that state alive. Because of the fact that his bitch-ass brother tore his wings out. Oh, God. I'm intrigued to know what next episode is gonna be all about. I hope you enjoyed this video with me. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best, and I will see you in another video. Bye.